Hi, I'm Tamara from mooglyblog.com, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the Lily Sugar and Cream Crochet Hydrated Hiker Water Bottle Sling. This is a free pattern I designed for yarnspirations.com using Lily Sugar and Cream. And as you can see, it holds a standard size stainless steel water bottle with a little bit of give for all the variation out there. It's also got this long strap that you can wear as a crossbody or throw it over your shoulder. You can totally adjust the length of this strap to fit the individual you're making it for. And if you need it a little bit shorter, switching between individuals, you can just tie a little knot in the top. So let's go ahead and get started making our own hydrated hiker. To make the hydrated hiker, I used two colors of Lily Sugar and Cream, the Robin's Egg Blue and the white. To demo today, I'm going to use Robin's Egg Blue and a darker blue so that it's a little easier to see on camera. You'll also need a US 7 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. This one is by Susan Bates. And of course, you'll need your standard crochet supplies like scissors and a yarn needle to weave in your ends. If we take a look at the hydrated hiker, you can see it's got a little bit of an open bottom here and an interesting stitch pattern as we work our way up. If you don't like it, you can work those as solid rounds of single crochet instead. It's also got that long handle I talked about that you can totally easily adjust the length for your personal size. It's just rows back and forth here of double crochet, so you can add more rows for more length or take a few out to make it shorter for people who are a little bit smaller. Let's go ahead and get started making it. This project is crocheted from the bottom up, so I'm going to start with a darker color since that's the color that will touch the ground and is likely to get the most dirty. So I'll find the end of my yarn here and pull up a few yards, and then find the end again. We start with a magic circle. So rather than making a slip knot, we're going to take the end of our yarn, come in 6 inches or so, and then we're going to go over our forefinger of our non-hook hand twice towards us, just like a yarn over. So hold out that finger and go 1, 2. Then we're going to take our hook, slip it under both of those loops, and grabbing the one that's there in back, we're going to pull it just under the other one, like so. Yarn over and pull through a chain, and now your magic circle is locked together, and we can go back to our instructions. So now we're going to chain 4, which counts as our first double crochet and a chain 1. So we yarn over and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This can be a little tricky with that ring still on your finger, but after we make this next stitch, we'll be able to pull the ring off our finger. So next, we begin the repeat that takes us the rest of the way around round 1. We double crochet in the ring and then chain 1 7 times. So let's make that double crochet. We're going to yarn over, go under both of those loops. We want to go over the ring that goes all the way around and under that tail end there. Pull up our loop and make our double crochet. Take our time working that off there. And now I feel comfortable pulling my finger out because I know that my loop will stay open now that it's had that stitch worked into there. So we need to finish our repeat with a chain 1, and that's the first one. Double crochet in the ring and chain 1. That was the first of 7. We need to do that 6 more times. So we double crochet in the ring and chain 1. Double crochet in the ring and chain 1. And I like to use my other hand to stabilize it, so I know it's kind of hard to see, but you can see there I've been working right into the ring, and I make sure that I go in the ring and again around that tail as well. Double crochet in the ring and chain 1. So we're going to keep doing that until we've done that 7 times. So now we have that beginning chain 4 and then 7 double crochets followed by a chain 1. You can see our final chain 1 there after our final double crochet. So now what we want to do is go ahead and take that tail and start to gently pull. You can see how that closes the ring in the middle right up. When we go to weave in our ends, we'll want to make sure to weave this end in a couple of different directions to make sure that this magic circle doesn't come undone later. To finish up round 1, we need to slip stitch in that third chain made. Remember when we chained 4, it was a double crochet and a chain 1. So we want to slip stitch to the top, or rather to that third chain, to call that the top of our first double crochet. So we just want to get under those 2 loops of the chain, pull our loop through, and finish our slip stitch. And this is what your hydrated hiker should look like after round 1. And now we're ready to begin round 2. We're going to start with a chain of 5, and this time it's going to count as a treble crochet plus a chain 1. So that means that 4th chain will be the top of our treble, and that 5th chain is our chain 1. Then our repeat for this one, we're going to work a treble crochet in that next chain space, the next chain 1 space right there. We don't want to go into the chain 1, just right into the space underneath it, and work off that treble crochet, and then chain 1 again. To continue around, we want to treble crochet in the next stitch. So for a treble crochet, we yarn over twice. We'll go right into that next stitch, pull up our loop, and work them off in pairs. Oop, let me get that last one pulled through again. There we go. And chain 1. Then we treble crochet in the next chain space. Work those loops off in pairs, and chain 1. Then we do it again. Treble crochet in the next stitch, like so. Work our way up here, chain 1, then treble crochet in the next chain space, followed by a chain 1. So we're going to continue that all the way around for round 2. So as you can see, I've worked a treble crochet in each stitch and in each chain space, always followed by a chain 1. So now we're ready to finish round 2 by joining to the 4th of those 5 chains. You'll remember I pointed that out as the top of our treble crochet. So we can go ahead and put our slip stitch right in there. And that's what it should look like at the end of round 2. To make round 3, we're going to be working with a much shorter stitch, single crochets. We start with simply a chain 1, and then we're going to work 2 single crochets in each chain space around. We're going to skip over the stitches themselves. Just go right into that chain space for 1 single crochet, and then a second one. Then we can just jump right over that stitch and put 2 single crochets in the next chain space. We'll continue this all the way around. So I will see you at the end of round 3. And here we are at the end of round 3. I worked 2 single crochets into each one of those chain spaces, and then I joined to that first single crochet with a slip stitch. You can see because we didn't really increase in this round, it's starting to cup up. In fact, we're done with our increases. We are going to be working even all the way up until we get to that handle. So round 4 is quite simple. We just chain 1 and single crochet in each stitch around. So I will see you at the end of round 4. So now we've finished round 4, just a simple row of single crochet in each stitch and then a join. We're ready for round 5, and that's where we begin that repeat. Again, if you don't like that look of that fabric, you can just work this as simple rounds of single crochet for the same number of rows. To make the repeat though, we're going to start with a chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in the first 8 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we skip the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we put a single crochet in the very next stitch. And that is our repeat. Single crochet 8, chain 7, skip 7, single crochet in the next. You'll do that one more time, and that will take you all the way around for round 5. As you can see, I did that repeat one more time. After I single crocheted after our chain, I did 8 more single crochets, chain 7, skip 7, and single crochet in that very last stitch. Then we can simply join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet we made to finish up round 5. Now we're ready for round 6. Round 6 begins with a chain 1, and then our repeat is going to be single crochet in the next 8 stitches, single crochet in the chain space, chain 5, single crochet in the same chain space, and then single crochet in the next stitch. And again, we'll do that twice. So let's do that first one together. We're going to start again. We've got our chain 1, single crochet in 8 stitches. So we want to start in that first one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I need to stop for just a second here and pull up a little bit more yarn from my skein. There we go. So we've single crocheted in the first 8 stitches. Now we're going to single crochet into this big chain space. We want to keep this one right here to the side where we've been crocheting. Now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the rest of this chain space, and we want to crochet in the chain space again, but we want to put this one at the far end of it here. There we go, so that those big chain spaces sort of line up together. Then we go right back to crocheting into our stitches and crochet into that very next stitch. So that is our repeat for round 6. Start again with single crochet in the next 8, and then we'll work our way all the way around, and I'll see you when we're ready for round 7. So we've finished round 6 with a single crochet in that last chain space and then a single crochet in that last stitch, finished with a slip stitch. Now we're ready for round 7. We're going to start with a chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in the first 9 stitches. So we start right in that first one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and if you look, you can see that takes us into that stitch that we worked into that chain space. So now what we're going to do is work our next single crochet in that chain space. Want to make sure we get just this one. And now we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We jump over to the other side of this chain space to make our next single crochet. Want to stretch out and stack all those chain spaces. And now we're ready to work into that stitch. So that's 1, and then another 1. So that is our repeat for round 7. Single crochet in 9 stitches, single crochet in the chain space, chain 3, single crochet in that same chain space, and single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So repeat that once more for round 7, and we'll be ready for round 8. And here's what your hydrated hiker should look like after round 7. You can see we've got all those little chain spaces all stacked on top of each other, and we've joined, and we're ready to begin round 8. Round 8 starts a little differently. We're going to start with a chain of 8, which will count as our turning chain, and chain 7. So let's go ahead and do that now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we're going to skip the first 7 stitches, and then we'll begin our repeat for this one. So let's count those out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And check that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So I'm going to put my thumb there to mark that next one. We begin our repeat by single crocheting in the next 3 stitches. So we're going to go right in that next one after the 7 that we've skipped. So there's 1, 2, and 3. You can see it takes us right up to that chain space from the previous row. Then we single crochet in that chain space. Then we chain 1, single crochet in that same chain space. We want to do the same thing and bring it all the way over here to the other side. There we are. Then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Then we chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we go back to the section in the brackets. Single crochet in the next 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And you'll know you're in the right place there if the next thing is that chain space. So we single crochet in the chain space, chain 1, single crochet at the far end. Oop, get our ends all tangled up there. Let's get those straightened out. There we go. Single crochet at the far end of that chain space, and then single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So there's 2 and 3. And that should be the last stitch of round 8. So to finish that up, what we're going to do is join with a slip stitch basically in that second chain right there. Remember, we had a turning chain and then a chain 7. We can just join with a slip stitch right to that 7th chain, or if you prefer, you can join right into that chain space if you're having trouble working into that chain right there. Otherwise, you can just work into that chain space for your slip stitch. But now we're all ready for round 9. To begin round 9, we start with a chain 1, and then we're going to single crochet right into that chain space right there. There we go. Then we chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet at the far end of that same chain space. There we go. Then single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, this takes us to that little chain 1 that we had in the previous round. So now we're going to single crochet right in that chain 1 space. Again, not in the chain, but in the space underneath it. There we go. Then we single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we do that repeat one more time because we've come to that next chain space. So let's go ahead and do it together. We single crochet in the chain space, chain 5, 3, 4, 5, single crochet at the far end of that chain space. And now we're basically going to single crochet in each stitch until we come to that chain 1 space. So we'll work our way around here. Should be 4 stitches there. Then we've got that chain 1, so we want to single crochet in the chain 1 space. And then in those last few stitches to get us all the way around here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 ought to do it. Yep, that brings us all the way around. So we want to find that first single crochet that we worked into that chain space, and that is what we joined to finish up round 9. And now we are all the way done through round 9. To begin round 10, we start with a chain 1 and a single crochet right into that very first stitch. That begins our repeat. Single crochet in the stitch, then single crochet in the next chain space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet at the far end of that same chain space. There we go. Then single crochet in the next 10 stitches, basically all the way around until you get to that next chain space again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we begin that repeat again. Single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the chain space, chain 3, single crochet in that same chain space, and then single crochet in each remaining stitch until we get to the end here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we join with a slip stitch in that first single crochet we made, and we're all done with round 10. In round 11, we keep the pattern going. We start with a chain 1 and single crochet basically in each stitch up until we get to that chain space right there. So we've come to the chain space, we single crochet in the chain space, chain 1, because that's the point we've gotten to as these have been shrinking, single crochet in that same chain space, and then just continue to single crochet around until you get to that next chain space and do the same thing. So I will see you at the end of round 11. So here we are at the end of round 11. You can see how our open work pattern has moved around our water bottle, and there's only one row left to our row repeat that started with row 5. Row 12 is simply chain 1 and single crochet in each stitch around. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll talk about how to make the rest of your hydrated hiker. So here we are with round 12 finished. I single crocheted in each stitch and into the chain 1 spaces when I came up to those. So that is our rounds 5 through 12 repeat. On our finished hydrated hiker, I repeated that one more time. Rounds 5 through 12 took us through round 19. Then I simply switched colors but continued in pattern through round 26. Again, another set of rounds 5 through 12 right there. So if you wanted to make it all in one color, you could certainly do that. Or switch colors more often every time you change a repeat. It's totally up to you. Once you've got all that height made, then it's time to move to our handles. So let's do that now. After round 26, we're ready to make our handle, but we don't want to break our yarn unless we want to change colors. Instead, we're going to start with a chain of 3, which will count as our first double crochet. And we're going to start turning. So row 1 of the handle is actually made from the inside of our little hiker here. We are going to work a double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So this will be the stitch right there. We'll go to the next one and go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Now this establishes the width of our strap, including that chain 3. It's 6 stitches wide. If you wanted a wider strap or a narrower strap, you could definitely add or subtract stitches. It's totally up to you. But that's it for row 1 of our handle. Row 2 and all the rest of the rows of the handle are all the same. We start with a chain 3. That counts as our first double crochet, and turn, or turn and then do the chain 3, whichever you prefer. That's our first stitch. So we go to the next stitch and double crochet. And we just do that all the way across. We want to maintain the same number of stitches in every row of our handle. And then we simply continue making double crochet rows of 6 or however many stitches you like on across. Make sure you work into the top of that chain 3 because it does count as a double crochet. But we just keep on just like we did with row 2. Chain 3, double crochet across, chain 3, double crochet across, all the way until the handle itself measures approximately 48 inches long, or again, to the size you like. If it's for a larger person, you might want to add some rows. If it's for someone smaller, you might want to subtract some. If it's for someone who's still growing, you can definitely take your hydrated hiker, make it a little bit longer, and tie a knot in the top so that they've got some room to grow. After you've made the full length of your handle here, we just bring it on over to the other side. I had to look close to see which one it was on the original. Here, we simply cut a long tail of yarn, and then we can use a yarn needle to sew it right to the opposite side of our hiker. You can just lay it out flat, find those stitches, and sew it right down. And that's all there is to it. And that's how to crochet your very own Lily Sugar and Cream Hydrated Hiker Water Bottle Sling. Just go ahead and take your favorite bottle, slip it right inside, and you'll be all set for your next adventure. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.